Hey, it's May from May Plants. I'm going to show you guys my setup of my Stalogy. Currently, I have like a rough idea of what I want to do, but I have like all of my supplies that I possibly could out on my table right now, just so I can kind of like figure it out as I go. This might take a very long time and I might like fast forward or cut a lot of things, but like why not record it? If I'm doing this whole YouTube thing, I'm gonna do it all the way. So here's my A6 Stalogy. If you saw my flip through of my planner, I mentioned that I was going to be getting into this for bullet journaling, and it arrived like 2 weeks early. I can't wait. I have been planning on starting it at the beginning of May. It's currently April 26th, so like I could set it up for May now and let it sit there for a few days, or I could just start it a week early, and I'm kind of leaning towards that because I'm really, really excited about it. So for now, I'm just gonna leave everything in my cover where it's at, and I'm gonna just get started in this book. So the only thing that I've done to my Stalogy is unwrapped it, and I numbered every 10 pages. And then went through and like put in some post-it notes just to remind myself like what I was planning on doing on specific pages. But numbering every 10 pages is what I did in my B6 Stalogy that I'm using as my journal. And I just like having that because I find it helpful to just keep track of where I'm at in the book, since there are so many pages. And it kind of like for planning purposes, it helps me figure out like, okay, how long until I need to get a new one? How many pages am I actually using in a week, without having to go through the trouble of actually numbering every single page. So I have been greatly inspired by Dakshina. I feel like if you're using a Stalogy as a planner, like you've probably seen Dakshina's videos, or if you're just a planner in general, I don't know. I'm obsessed with her as a person and with her videos. Like the way that she uses her planner is the perfect mix of functionality and decoration that I want in my planner. And I feel like her brain and my brain work in similar ways with like having to write every single thing down or you're just not going to remember it. So yeah. So I like how she has kind of like that vellum, that like tip in area, and then she has her monthly calendar down. So I'm kind of inspired by that, also taking my own twist on it. So we'll see that as it goes on. This is also going to be monthly pages, and then I was going to go right into my dailies. And my plan for right now is to do two-page dailies for weekdays and one-page spreads for weekends. And that's just to accommodate for the fact that I'm going to do both my personal and my work planning in here. So that's all I have marked out in the front of the book. And nothing planned for here. Then I am going to do, for my future planning, I have like not really ever found a future planning system that works for me. Maybe one of these days I'll like go through my old bullet journals and like show what I've done in the past. I like always start off strong, putting in like all the birthdays and the holidays and stuff like that, and then that's all I end up doing. Like it's just not functional for me. And then I do forget dates as they come up, you know. So my thought is I'm just going to put in a year at a glance, or since it's already May, it's like a half year at a glance, on one page, and then use the other page as kind of an inbox for future planning. So anytime I schedule a date for like months in advance, I just put it on a post-it note. That way when the month comes up, I can just take out that post-it note, put it into my monthly, and then I don't need to keep that like information in the future planning section, because then it's no longer planning for the future, it's already happened. Anyway, so that's my thought with that. And then I want to do cleaning or chore spreads to keep track of like all the chores that I have to get done on a weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly basis, just so that I'm staying on track with everything. And that's all I have planned for that too. So yeah, so very loose plans so far, and that's why I figured like, let's just make a video and talk about it. So this is what I've printed out. I don't have a printer, but my boyfriend does. So I was there this weekend and I printed these out. Some Coffee Monsters Co. Don't know this artist. Found this on Pinterest. Coffee Monsters Co. Or is this? another one that's not Coffee Monster's code but looks the same. Pinterest. Pinterest. These I found on Pinterest. I just looked up like monthly calendar freebie. I think this one is really pretty, but I think this is more the vibe that I'm going for. Love cats. This is going to be my like cross off thing that Dakshana does. I was hoping that Coffee Monsters Co. was going to release her May freebie by the end of the day today so I could print it out at my boyfriend's while it was still there. But she did not. And I did look at SM plans and it's really, really pretty, but it's just not fitting like my style. So yeah, so I just found this one and I think it's cute and it'll work. These are the monthlies that I'm going to use. I actually made these using just the Microsoft Word. They give you the option for like a calendar. I can't think of words. What's it called? A calendar. So you can make your own calendar. I don't know. And then I used dafont.com and choose some pretty fonts to just make my own calendars. And so I made them in a full page portrait mode and then printed them out 4 on one page to get them to a 6 size, and it should fit perfectly. And so I wanted to do, I've always been kind of a 2-page monthly girl, but it's just like not really, I don't know, it's just been bothering me lately. In my planner, I have been using that for like my work planning, but my personal, in my bullet journal, having a 2-page monthly, like I just wasn't using it. And I ended up just using it to decorate with. And as cute as it is, like I would rather have something more functional. So I'm going to try this 1-page monthly with a color coding system with those dot stickers that I mentioned. So have the monthly on one page and then use the other page for like listing out all the upcoming activities. All right, and then this is a year on one page that I found on Pinterest and printed out again using like the 4 on one page function, so it's A6 size. And I also used Microsoft Paint to like rearrange the months so that it's just May to December, which is just because I'm starting this in May. So yeah, let's get going on this, I guess. So I decided to do a voiceover because there was like a lot of nonsense that I had to snip, and I just made it fast. So here I'm gluing in that monthly calendar that I used a Microsoft template to make. I talked for a while in the video about how I prefer the Elmer's Purple School Glue over other Elmer's glues, and how I feel like the Tombow glue tape runner thing is overpriced. But then you'll see later that I have to re-glue everything multiple times because my Elmer's school glue just keeps like coming undone. It doesn't like the Stalogy paper for whatever reason. What do you guys use to glue things into your Stalogy? I know that those Tombow glue runners are probably phenomenal. They just like, I don't know. It's really hard for me to justify spending more than like 30 cents on a glue product when I can get these Elmer's glue sticks for 30 cents, but they suck. I don't know. Here I'm using Shine Sticker Studios Michael's collab for setting up this little dashboard area. Dashboard / inbox area. I'm going to use it for just random post-it notes throughout the month. Here I'm adding more glue to my calendar because it was not sticking. It's since like it's stuck better, but I have to add like a ton of glue. I don't know. I'm having problems. But it looks cute. Now I'm cutting out that year at a glance. And what I ended up doing for my year at a glance or like future planning section is I have that year at a glance on one page. And then on the other page, I'm just using post-it notes. And so far, I mean, this is week 2 in my Stalogy. Today's May 4th. So far, it seems to be working pretty well. Like I really, especially with like coronavirus, like there's really no point in having a future planning section because you can't really make future plans right now. But I have like some birthdays written down there and, you know, some other things. So then that was really all I had prepared to set up for the month. So I just went ahead and set up my first week, and I did end up setting this up like the last week of April, or like the first few days of May. So that was last week, and it was my first week, and let me tell you, is this planner piece? Like, I think this is planner piece. I'm obsessed. It's so cute and so functional and so like easy to carry. Like, I am addicted. I do feel like part of me kind of wants to be in a B6 because these pages, I mean, obviously an A6 is really small. But I just really like the A6 size. I think it's cute. I like that I can like totally fill out the pages. Like I think that I would be able to use a good amount of space in the B6, but I really like the look of my really full pages. By the way, these headers, this is the Simply Gilded Day Washi. Oh, that was me commenting on the fact that I have like terrible little scraps of nail polish on my nails and that I didn't take off. Anyway, this is the Simply Gilded Day Washi. I just saw on her Instagram that she's releasing 2 more colors, and I'm going to have to get them. Like, I love this stuff. It's so pretty and so easy to use. But I did cut out later on that I very much struggled trying to find a pen that would write on this washi. But it's okay. It's worth it for something so cute. Here I'm trying to figure out what other Simply Gilded washi I wanted to use on my pages. I went for this pastel rainbow and then some thinner mint washi. And I also mentioned in the video, oh, here I am trying to take off the washi and it like ripped the pages. Whoops! I've gotten better, don't you worry. I mentioned in the video how like I used to be so into like the more rugged, not rugged, I don't know, like vintagey looking style, lots of like neutral tones of botanicals, until like I really started getting into the planning videos and discovered Simply Gilded. And then I'm like, oh my god, pastels and glitter, like nothing makes my heart happier. So now I'm addicted to Simply Gilded and like all of that sort of stuff. And I'm not mad about it. This washi tape is so cute. And that was part of my reasoning for switching from a Hobonichi to a Stalogy. Is I was like, I want to be able to fill my pages with sparkly, pretty things that make me happy. Like, bullet journaling is such an easy way to, like, I'm not really artistic. I can't draw, but when I'm bullet journaling and I can like make things super colorful and add in all of these cute little crafty things and scrapbooky sort of things, like it just hits different, you know? It just makes me so happy. I tried my best to like vary the ways that I was putting down the washi so that not every page looked the same. So I did like rainbow on bottom, rainbow on top, and then the mint on bottom, mint on top, rainbow on bottom. Just tried to like switch it around, make each day a little bit different. But for this week, week 2 in my Stalogy, I just did the same washi on top and the same washi on the bottom. Sorry for my little schnoz getting in the camera there. I think I cut out the part at the beginning where I mentioned that I do not have a tripod. Oh, maybe I said this in my last video. I do not have a tripod. I have finagled my own tripod by putting my phone on top of an empty grape juice bottle and then keeping it there with Play-Doh and clay. But it seems to be working really well. Like, I feel like this is a pretty good shot. I don't know. I'm just not gonna, maybe like after a little bit I will invest in a tripod. I just like don't trust myself to keep up with any hobbies. So I need to like make sure that I'm super invested in something before I spend any money on it. Also, the ruler that I'm using to cut all this washi with is from Hobby Lobby. It was only a few bucks, and it was such a good investment. Like, I love the size of it, and it is a great straight edge for cutting washi. So I tried like a million different pens. You can kind of see them on the side there to see which one would write on the Simply Gilded washi the best. And I realized that you just got to go with a fine tip Sharpie. I wish I had a black one. I only had this blue one, which is fine. So at some point I'll go out and get a black fine tip Sharpie. I feel like it's a pretty multi-purpose tool for planner people. And that was all I did to decorate for my week. Here I'm going in with my Kaveco Sport, which is inked up with Lexington or Noodler's Lexington Gray. And I'm putting in some events or meetings that I had scheduled for the week. I'm referencing my previous planner setup, which was I was trialing a bullet journal in just a little 80-page insert. So I'm just writing down some events for the week, and then I had made this video on Sunday night, so I started putting in my tasks for the next day. For a while, I've been just planning my tasks for the day like the morning of. But when I started in this Stalogy, which you'll kind of see, I started scheduling tasks ahead of time. Like when I set up my week, I'll go through and be like, okay, I want to do this task on this day and this task on this day. And I'm kind of doing that because I'm not using a weekly in this setup. In all of my previous bullet journals, I've used a weekly. But it was always like I just could never find a weekly setup that worked for me. I never really referred to it all that much. So I thought that maybe doing it this way would be more functional. And I mean, like I said, I just set up week 2. Today's Monday the 4th. And so this week that I'm showing right now was my first week in the Stalogy, and I just finished that yesterday. It worked so well for me. Like, definitely the most functional planner I've had in a while. I really, really liked having, I set up my personals on the left-hand page and then my work on the right-hand page. So that's why Saturday and Sunday are just one page each, because I do not work on Saturday or Sunday. I'm a teacher. And that really worked for me. Like, I liked having a separate personal to-do list and work to-do list. I tend to write down like very long to-do lists because like you can see, I write get outside. Some days I write take a shower. As I've mentioned in my previous videos, I am in recovery for mental health and for alcoholism. And so it's just like really important for me to keep on top of myself and doing the like little things and the things that just keep me mentally healthy. So like making my bed, even though that's a 20-second task that I do almost every day, I still put in my planner just to make sure I get it done, and then I can cross it off, and it seems like my day is even more productive than it is. So right now I am referring back to my Hobonichi Avec, which I had been using for my work planner, just to put in some work tasks and meetings and stuff like that. I have sold my July to December Hobonichi Avec. I really liked it when I was using it for the first few months, and then I realized, like, I don't know, something about the rigidity of it just wasn't working for me, and I don't know. I'm happy to be in Stalogy now. And also, like, I love the thinness of Tomoe River paper. Like, 52 GSM Tomoe River paper is, like, just something special. It's a gem in this world. But the Stalogy paper is also 52 GSMs. And it's not coated the same way the Tomoe River paper is. And so as someone who uses fountain pens, like, yes, sometimes I get some feathering in my fountain pens. It's not absolutely perfect. There is a little bit more bleed through with the Stalogy paper than there is in Tomoe River paper. But the fact that the ink dries so much faster. And especially as a left-handed fountain pen user, like I think I definitely prefer the Stalogy paper over Tonali River paper. I think here I'm just flipping through, making sure I have everything I needed. Okay, and now I am putting everything into my Maker Self cover. Just pulling out all of my inserts. I debated keeping that personal insert in for a little bit because I had been using it for grocery lists and stuff like that. But I end up not using it because, I mean, the Stalogy has so many pages, I can just use that for whatever I was going to use that personal insert for. And I just had put my finance insert to the side, which I don't end up putting back into the setup, but I have now been keeping my finance insert within my setup. And I probably will keep it there. I really like having it in there. And that's just a work insert with work notes. I turn to the middle of the Stalogy and put it on just one string at first, and then put in that personal insert. But then, as I mentioned, I decided not to put that in. I really didn't need it. So then I put the Stalogy around 2 strings, and that just, I don't know. You don't need 2 strings in there, especially with the Maker South. It's just such a well-made cover. This leather is really sturdy. I didn't need 2 strings. That's just a receipt that I wanted to hang on to for work purposes, so I just taped it into that completed work insert. Just taking the jump bands out of my inserts so I can save them and reuse them. Those are Avery tabs, the removable ones. I got the pastel colors because of course I did. I really like them. The only issue I'm having is like I used that purple one all last week and just moved it from page to page each day. And it's like super dirty. Okay, so here's my final flip through, which I have since added a whole bunch. And I have that video recorded and I will upload it soon. But that's the quick flip through of my first week of my Stalogy. Thanks for watching.